Hey everybody, and welcome to Mediocre Gamers, where we discuss all things gaming. I'm Caleb, and I'm joined today by my co-host Crimson.
What's up?
So before we get into anything, I wanted to let everybody know that we have been kind of hitting and missing on our episodes lately because I have been battling bronchitis for about 2 weeks now, and scheduling issues and all that good stuff. So I'm finally feeling a little bit better. Hopefully there's going to be minimal amount of coughing in this episode, and I'll try to mute myself so you guys don't have to suffer through that.
And also, I put out a lot of streaming, some YouTube videos, so you shouldn't have been without too much content just from what I was doing extra.
Yep. And for the past couple of weeks, since I haven't been feeling super awesome, I haven't been playing a lot of stuff, but this past few days, I have been playing some stuff here and there. So I kind of have a grab bag of small, short experiences to talk about today. But first, Crimson, what have you been playing?
I've been playing World of Warships like I always do.
World of Warships, what?
I've just really been enjoying it still. I've been working on different lines. I've been going down the British ships, so which play completely different than the American ships. So it's like playing a new game, every different line.
Nice.
And the nice thing about World of Warships is they like to do a lot of missions and extra content and stuff like that. They came out with the French, and then they had a campaign that you could do. And so that gave you some goals, some things to achieve, and some rewards, of course. And then,
of course.
Getting new ships, having fun with that, playing in clan wars, which I have a blast in there. I unlocked my gearing, which is my tier 10 American destroyer.
Nice.
Love that ship. Oh, it's so good.
Huh.
Super good concealment, really, really good torpedoes. You just kind of sneak up on battleships and shoot torps right up their asshole. Love it. We call that gearing butt sex. It's amazing.
Wow.
Those poor bastards. I love the torpedo aspect. Now, the Japanese are better at torpedoes, but their torpedoes, I don't know. I feel like the gearing just has better torpedoes. They're faster. You get less of them, but if you know what you're doing, you don't need more. So, I've been having a blast with that. April Fools is coming up.
They are very skill shot oriented, correct?
Right. What they do is you target a ship, and like normal guns, you have to find your sweet spot. You choose how much to lead the target and stuff like that. With torpedoes, there will be a white line that shows you if you launch your torpedoes and that ship doesn't change direction or slow down or speed up, this is where you want to launch your torpedoes. But people generally don't do that. They like to move their ship around, slow down, increase speed. So
they don't get hit by torpedoes.
Exactly. So a bad player will just shoot at the white line every time. A good player will shoot their first set at the white line and then wait a little bit. And then when he sees those torpedoes, he's going to start turning. Then you shoot after he's done his turn, because now he's not expecting any more torpedoes. But yeah, just it's hard to hit with torpedoes unless you get real close, and you don't want to be real close unless you're a ship that has really good concealment.
I gotcha.
And then April Fools is coming up. World of Warships loves their April Fools. Dude, they are a Russian company that has 100% invested in April Fools. They do more on April Fools than any other holiday. Yeah, it's that insane. So
That's
this
hilarious.
year, they're going to be doing space battles.
Okay.
So they will give you some free ships. These ships
Mm-hmm.
go away after the event. Usually
Mm-hmm.
the event will be week long, and you'll be able to play in space with some of these ships. Now these ships are completely redes. I mean, like the skin on them is completely redesigned. They look like spaceships.
Okay.
Super wonderful looking. The sounds above and beyond. I mean, you got the pew 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 laser beams and everything.
Okay.
Really nice. Um, Now you're not getting any experience towards any ships, so it is purely a fun mode. Um, they do have missions that involve on it, so as you complete the missions, you will get badges, which are kind of like achievement type things, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
But it's meant to be fun, and every
Yeah,
year they do fun stuff.
that's cool.
So yeah, I can't wait for that. That now that's on the public test, and it will be coming out around the end of the month for April
Okay.
Fools.
Well, that's cool though.
Yeah, I mean it's really just fun.
That's
And
good. I'm glad that they're still keeping it fresh and actually, giving people some new stuff to do.
yeah, and that I mean they want to keep people around.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to buy ships,
Mm-hmm.
so the best way to do that is to keep you playing.
That's true.
And these April Fools events are really good. They also do a big one for Halloween, where like you get Cthulhu looking ships
Okay.
and shit like that.
Nice.
So they definitely enjoy their holidays.
Hmm.
I mean, for International Women's Day, they had a bunch of missions where you could get a camouflage for your ship that had like, kind of looked like it's like white and Japanese cherry blossoms. It was very pretty camouflage,
Mm.
and they had incredible stats on them. Like you're like, I want these. They're very
Okay.
good. So yeah, they try to hit even the little holidays. They like to get a little thing. Like they had a new camouflage that you could get for Pi Day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Pi Day. Let's just take a moment. Stephen
Mm.
Hawkins,
Yep. R.I.P.
miss you, bro. Oh, it's so sad. But for like Pi Day, you would get the camouflage is this black. It looks like a chalkboard
Okay.
with a bunch of like equations and stuff all scribbled on it in chalk. It's pretty badass looking camo.
Hmm.
And you can get about 20 of those through the missions.
I gotcha.
Had a blast through those. And then I also played some Eternal.
Oh yeah.
They had
How's that game?
the
It's
game's
been a
still
while.
it's still solid.
That's good.
Still the best.
I need to jump in there.
Yeah, I mean it's still the best digital card game on the market.
It's true.
And
Sorry, but fuck you, Hearthstone.
it'll still be the best when Magic Arena comes out,
Yup.
because they didn't want to listen to their customers. They just want money.
Yup. Well, if they would update, Magic Online sometime this fucking decade, then it
Yeah.
wouldn't have been a problem.
Quit being like a Java program and be something that has some user interface to it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like I need a PH fucking D to use.
Pretty much.
Oh, it's crap.
It's
But
awful.
yeah, it really is. Oh, and give us packs, digital packs at a fair price. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah,
Still
that
don't
would
get
be
why
just
I have
downright
to
fucking
pay.
interesting.
Yeah, why do I have to pay full price for a digital pack that you didn't have to print?
Pretty
Doesn't make
much.
any damn sense. It's just dumb. Fuck you, Blizzard.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you know how I feel about that one. And I love Magic. I want to play Magic. I enjoy it. It's a great game. I refuse to pay $3.99 a pack for a digital card pack.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
Eternal.
pretty much. It still scratches the Magic itch.
Yeah.
But without breaking the damn bank.
That's right. And we got a new card that goes in my control deck, which is great. It's called Hailstorm. It costs 3 and does 3 damage to all minions.
Oh, that's so good.
So it's Lightning Storm, but for 3 and 3 damage.
That's just infinitely better.
It really is, because there's so many times when you're like, Lightning Storm just doesn't kill these things.
Yup.
And Hailstorm does exactly what you need it to.
Mm-hmm.
And the story for the campaign is really good. The story involves you following Icaria.
Okay.
While she's defending the city, when the throne went empty. Mm-hmm. And she's working with Roland to her becoming the leader of the rebels. Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, great storyline.
I'll have to get that.
Yeah, I think
just
it's like
so I have
$10
something to mess around with. Yeah, it's a solid prize.
Yeah, they do
and
a pretty good price. Yeah, and I think you get like 3 legendaries in this one.
And there are play sets of them.
Yes, play sets.
That's the nice thing, is that they don't just go, oh, here's one little legendary, except for the base campaign. The base campaign just gives you the one for each of the heroes, quote unquote.
But you can also pull those heroes out of packs.
Yes.
Like, if you couldn't, then I'd be upset.
Yeah. Although I think that they should have just given you a playset in the campaign and not had them in packs.
I agree.
But, I mean, if that's...
But that campaign was free also.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if that's one of the only complaints that I have about that game, it's doing a good job.
They did do a lot of nerfs. I don't remember them all. I don't have them all here. I wasn't really going to talk about it.
Yeah, I did see that they definitely went kind of crazy with the nerf hammer.
Yeah, but thankfully most of their nerfs were just upping the mana cost by 1 or changing the power and toughness by 1 here and there.
Yeah. And I don't remember, like, I haven't played in a while, so most of those cards I had never seen before anyway. So I can't be like, oh, they totally screwed this card over. I didn't know what it did beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of them were new cards, too.
Yeah.
And then we did have the Black Champion get nerfed. I would call it balancing, not nerfing, but it could definitely be seen as a nerf. Her ability used to be, whenever a black creature came into play, you pulled a creature from your graveyard and put it in play, and this would
now
include
it says
her.
Whenever another.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing. Not much.
I hear ya. I haven't been playing a ton, like I said, but I did decide to just like sit down and just play a couple of games, even just for a short time. And so I have Humble Monthly, and I got Dark Souls 3. And I'm like, all right, screw it. I'll set it to download overnight, and I'll give it a shot, because I heard it's like the best one. Yeah, it's whatever. I don't fucking get it. Everybody's always crying about how amazing Dark Souls is, and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll jump into it. And within 10 minutes, I already wanted to quit.
I mean, I played Demon Souls, and I loved it, but it was hard as hell.
Yeah. And I think so here's part of my problem. So one, and I'm actually going to jump to point number 2 first. The controls are weird on PC, so it doesn't force you to use a controller, but it strongly encourages it. So I use my PS4 controller, but for some reason the motion controls are still on. So when I'm in the menus, if I tilt the controller at all, the cursor is flying all over the screen. And I don't know why.
Oh,
I
that's
even
weird.
went into the settings and turned it all off, and it still does it. So that's a whole nother deal that I got to figure out, because it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that sounds like a Google find the INI file and
Yep.
turn it to false.
Exactly. The other thing is, so I get up to the first boss, which is the statue thing. You pull a sword out of his chest and he turns into, or he comes to life and starts kicking your ass. So I end up killing him on like my second try or whatever. And so I start wandering up the hill to the castle and kill all the dudes, kill some more dudes. And there's like 2 paths. There's like one that goes right up into the main door, and then there's this other little side path. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll go ahead and take the side path first, just in case there's something there I need to find. So I go there, and there's this just like kung fu dude with a bow staff, and he comes down the steps at me, and I'm like, all right. And he kicks my ass and kills me in 3 hits. And I was doing about 47, 48 damage, whatever, to him a hit, but his health was going down almost not at all. And the other guys, I was doing about the same damage, and it was about 1 to 2 hits. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I dropped all my souls where I died, so then I have to go back and get them. Well, it's at the bottom of the steps where I died, so I go back, and as soon as I grab them, he kills me again. So then all my souls drop again. And so I'm like, okay, so this guy's basically unkillable. Within the first 10 minutes of the game, there's an unkillable enemy, or basically unkillable enemy, and all my currency is laying on the ground. Now, I know it's not a lot, but it's still, I've had to restart this 4 fucking times and had to kill all these guys again. So it's a little bit, it's enough that I don't want to leave it.
Yeah.
But I have to fucking leave it.
Yep, that's...
And so I'm like, cool.
Payment for going the wrong path.
Alt F4. That's what I did. I don't know. I'll pick it up again later, but it's super frustrating right out the gate.
Yep.
And like the dodge mechanic is weird, and it actually has one of the most frustrating things that I've seen in video games, and it actually comes from Left 4 Dead. And that is, when you go to dodge, the enemy follows your dodge and hits you anyway. And it's the stupidest fucking thing ever, because the guy winds up his attack, and I'm like, cool, I'll dodge roll out of the way. And he's like, haha, just kidding, smash.
Yeah,
Hit
then
you
what's
anyway.
the point of dodging then?
Exactly. And that's what it used to be like in Left 4 Dead, which was if the tank pulls up the stone from the ground, rips a piece of the ground out, and goes to throw it, if you sidestep while it's in the air, while it is hurling at your location, if you move out of the way, it will fucking curve and hit you anyway. That's exactly what it does in Dark Souls. And I'm like, okay, and Dark Souls is one of those games where if you get hit once, you're meh, but if you get hit twice, you're usually dead.
Speaking of Left 4 Dead, have you seen that new Vermintide 2?
Oh, Vermintide 2?
Yeah.
I think I'll end up picking it up. Vermintide 1 was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was good too, but everybody's raving about this.
Yeah, I think they learned enough from the first one that the second one's going to be real solid. So, I don't know. Dark Souls is just meh to me. Like, again, I'll keep messing with it here and there, but I don't mind a hard game, but I don't like when I'm forced to do certain things, especially in a quote-unquote Metroidvania-esque game where you're supposed to have freedom of exploration.
Yeah,
But
you don't have freedom. It's linear.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, why am I playing this and not Mass Effect then? But anyway, next game was Rebel Galaxy. It's an interesting game.
This is a
It's
game I played too.
yeah, and it's pretty fun. I like it. It's very I don't want to say it's freelancer-esque because it's not, but it's about
Not
as
even
good as we're
close.
going to get right now because apparently people forgot how to make good games. But it's fun. You get into a spaceship and you fly around and you do jobs, and you can be a trader or a bounty hunter or I don't know, hooligan, whatever. But it has a dialogue trees kind of like Fallout and stuff like that where you can kind of change how things progress. Um,
I would
eh,
kill for a freelancer too.
no shit, I think everybody would. But it's fine. Rebel Galaxy's fine, but there is something that I greatly dislike about it, and it is once again more frustrating and shitty controls. And
Controls.
it's not like the control setup is bad. It's how things respond to it. So you'll be flying around and you can't just jump into warp speed. You have to be like at a certain speed and away from, like X amount of distance away from anything to be able to engage warp. And the warp key is also the tractor beam key, which is also this other key, which is also this other key. So they have a whole bunch of different commands bound to one key, and it's all context based. So like if you're at full speed and going in a direction and in open space, then you can engage warp. But if you are going at full speed and there's something nearby that you can pick up, then it'll be the tractor beam key. And I'm like, you have a full fucking keyboard and you mapped like 9 things to one fucking key.
See, I played it on PlayStation 4, so.
So everything was just bound to shoulder button?
Pretty much.
It's like accelerate and brake is shoulder button 1. But the other thing is just the maneuvering in combat is weird. And I've gotten to where I can kind of cheat the system. Not really, it's just pro tip. If you want to turn hard, decelerate. And I mean, that's the case for any ship game generally,
Yep.
is that if you are going full speed, then it's going to be harder for you to make a sharp turn.
Yeah,
But
if you're gonna slide.
Exactly. And what you want to do is, lower your speed, turn, and then use the booster to make it sharp. And so that's fine, but like one of the first missions that I got is a high risk mission, and I just die. And I'm like, why is there kind of like the unkillable enemy in Dark Souls 3 in the first 5-10 minutes? It's like, okay, so you're giving me the option to go do something that I can't actually do. Why? And it wasn't like, oh, if I just maneuvered a little bit better, I could have finished the engagement. It was like, oh, I got in here. It is high risk. I get that. So I'm like, it's going to be a little bit harder. There were 8 ships, 2 or 3 corvettes, which are like the same size as your ship, that have like broadsides and missiles and stuff. And then 5 of the little fighters, which all have missiles. And this is where the controls really started pissing me off. Is it's like, hey, you can use your boosters to get out of the way of missiles. Well, missiles are homing. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm, broadsiding this ship and they shoot missiles out. And I'm like, cool, boost. And they're like, yeah, that's great. You just boosted right into them because they're homing. And so some of these ships were throwing out, I think it's like 5 missiles. It's a barrage, basically, of homing missiles. And it's like,
kind of got to take it.
Yeah, but it's 8 ships shooting those missiles at me. And there's no way to dodge, and when you're not broadsiding, the other weapon that I have is like a pulse cannon or something like that, and it's like a machine gun, basically. And so, but what you do is it's a free aim, but when it hits when you hover over a ship, it locks onto them. And so you can shoot the missiles, but if you are hovering over the ship, so if you're looking at the ship and the ship is shooting missiles at you, you can't unlock and shoot the missiles. Like, if you pull the mouse off, it just throws the cursor across the screen. So you can't, I'm like, why? Why? So, stuff like that. It's bad.
It's the little things.
Yeah, it's bad when the game itself feels fun, but the frustration comes from the unintuitive controls and the fact that it goes, here's hard mode missions at level 1. If I can't complete something or have no shot in hell of doing something, don't allow me to go do it yet.
Yeah.
If it's hard and it's going to take either practice or skill or
give you
luck,
a warning first.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, it says it's high risk, so I get it. It is going to be difficult. But there's a difference between difficult and impossible. Difficult means that I have a chance of doing it. Impossible is impossible. So that's kind of frustrating me right now. Also, the game doesn't save when you're out in space. It only auto-saves when you go to a town. So what's really frustrating is when you're way out, like, on the fringe of the galaxy, and you're like, yeah, I'm doing some quests, and you do like 3 or 4 quests, well, then you go and do this next one, and then you just get fucked, and you die. Well, guess what? It reloads the save from when you were last at a town. It doesn't respawn you, it reloads the game.
Yep.
And I'm like, and that happened to me the other day, and I just Alt F forward. I'm like, no, I literally was out there for another 45 minutes. So, but it is fun when you figure out what the fuck's going on. It's fun when you're not getting screwed over. And the soundtrack is really, really interesting. It has, like, Firefly-esque
Yeah, I was going to say,
music.
it's like very, like, space western.
There's some space western stuff in there, but there's also, like, hard rock and, like, some other stuff. So it's a really cool and diverse soundtrack. And I can't believe that that's the one thing that I'm like, this was really cool about this game. But, when you're going to nitpick the little things, then it's good to say when one of the little things is good. The next game is one I'm going to get so much shit for. Like, I'm probably going to get some shit for not liking Dark Souls. This one I'm going to get yelled at by some fucker. Amnesia Dark Descent.
I heard this was a good game.
This is supposed to be like the granddaddy of survival horror. And I've owned it for ages, but I just never played it. And so basically it's supposed to be Lovecraftian. It uses a sanity system. I was like, every bit of this is up my alley. So I jump into it. Game looks like shit, first off, but it's supposed to because it's an older game. So once my, eyes adjust to the textures and stuff, everything looks fine. However, the very first thing that happens, you spawn into this mansion or whatever, and your entire screen is blurry, and it's showing you close your eyes, like blink. So it's actually making the screen go black constantly while it's blurry. And I'm like, okay, this is irritating. And you're walking at about half walk speed. So you're just kind of stumbling down this hallway. And so I round this corner and I start walking down the hallway. and my camera snaps to the right. And I mean, not like it starts to pan as a cutscene. No, I'm literally walking in a straight line, and it's like somebody took my mouse and just flung it to the right. Abruptly. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I start turning left, and it snaps it back.
It must want you to go right.
Yeah, it's forcing me to look at this stupid fucking banner. And I'm like, I don't care. And so then it does like a weird little cutscene thing or whatever, and I'm like, okay, so you forced me to look at something instead of just putting it in front of me. Whatever. So then it keeps going. Some stuff happens. You start collecting items. You start, lighting torches, whatever. Your sanity meter goes down while you're in the dark. And if you go insane, you die, I think, or whatever. I don't know. But when you go insane or are starting to go insane, your screen blurs. And it's that, like, crappy Battlefield, Call of Duty cutscene blur. Like your dude is crawling and it's so blurry you can't even see anything. It does that when you're at low sanity, but you're still playing the game. Yeah, so you're just like bumbling through shit and you can't see anything. So that's irritating. But also, and these are both counterproductive to each other. So when you're at low sanity, your screen blurs. But also, whenever any part of the plot advances, and the plot advances in a weird way, like you'll go and find something, and then it'll trigger an audio cue, almost like you're replaying a memory in your head. And it'll be like a conversation, right? So that's fine, except it does it pretty often, and how it does it is weird. It goes, the screen flashes white, so the entire screen is whited out, and then it comes back to your character, and you move at half speed. You can't sprint, and you're at half walking speed.
Which could really suck, yeah.
It really sucks if you're in a dark room, because you're now at half walking speed, and your sanity is draining. So then your screen your screen goes white, you can't move, and your screen goes blurry.
And you're dying.
And you can be dying, yeah. So I'm like, why?
At least let you walk at a normal speed.
Yeah, let me walk in normal speed. Let me be able to sprint, or this game's version of sprinting, which is walking at like 1.1 speed. It's
so World of Warcraft escort speed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it feels like an escort quest in a Lovecraftian mansion. So that has been my biggest complaint, is that the game will forcibly take control of the camera away from you, and it won't be in a cutscene. It'll be while you're playing. Then it will reduce your movement speed, blind you, and then blind you some more. And I'm like, I can't really enjoy this game if I can't fucking see anything. Yeah, if I can't play it, I can't control my damn character, and I can't see.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very fun.
It's not. It's not. Like, I don't really care if the story's good. I've met the monster, and I don't care. Like, he looks like Oogie Boogie from fucking Nightmare Before Christmas. And I'm like, okay, cool. He hasn't attacked me. Like, you just kind of see him in the hallway, and it's like, oh, okay. So I followed him, because I'm like, fuck it. He's either going to kill me or he's not. So I follow him, and he just disappears. I'm like, ooh, scary.
Ooh, that's so scary.
And yeah, maybe later it gets scary, but the scariest fucking thing for me is, when are you going to take control of my character away from me again? I hope the monster comes and kills me so that I can Alt F4 this fucking game and not play it anymore. So
it sounds like you've had kind of a rough week.
I have had a rough week, and what is actually hilarious about this is that Amnesia is like when somebody says, "Hey, survival horror," they're like, "Oh my god, Amnesia." I played Outlast, and it is 100 times better than this game. In fact, I will probably go back and play Outlast, and I already know that game. I've
Maybe I
already
should
beat
just
it.
convince you to come over to World of Warships and join the dark side with me.
I don't have the wallet for World of Warships. I don't have the wallet for Magic, and I started playing Magic again.
You don't have to buy anything in World of Warships.
You don't have to. Just like you don't have to buy anything in Hearthstone.
But I know you. You won't buy anything.
Yeah.
You're so anti giving people your money.
I am when they're like, hey, we got this cool new thing. And I'm like, oh, what is this cool new thing? Well, I'm going to start off by saying it's $50. And I'm like, nope, you lost me. And they're like, no. Listen. It's really, really cool. I'm like, no. They're like, no. You don't understand how cool it is. I'm like, all right, humor me. How cool is it? Well, it's a skin for a fuck off.
Pretty much, right?
Well, it's kind of like with Heroes of the Storm. Love Heroes of the Storm. But it's like, oh, hey, we brought out some new skins for your favorite characters. I'm like, yes! How much are they? Well, first off, you got to realize how cool these skins are. I'm like, how much are they? They're like, well, first off, really drink in how cool. How much are they? 2,600 shards. How do you get shards? Loot boxes? Eat a bag of dicks and choke.
Yup. Which is why I like World of Warships. You don't have to buy a premium. If
That's
you
true.
sign up with my friend code, you get a free premium tier 10 ship, or tier 5, Texas. And a lot of people play the game at tier 5, even if they have high level ships. Because tier 5 is just fun.
That's fair.
No, it's okay. Don't do it.
Maybe one of these days. I'll be like, you know what? Maybe I'll check that out. Like let me boot up my
when you clear out the aftertaste of Armored Warfare.
It was a fun game until
it was a
wasn't.
great game until they fucked it up.
Yep. Like here's my problem is I have 419 games on my Steam. I have not played half of them.
Sounds about me too.
But I will say that if you are looking for survival horror, and if you have played Outlast or anything like that, I wouldn't recommend Amnesia. If you've never played anything, you could probably start with Amnesia and then graduate to a good game.
So all three of these games for you is a pass, maybe rent.
Ish. I would say Dark Souls 3 is
rent.
Yeah, maybe once I get past that part and go a different route, maybe I'll like it more. But you had this problem with Resident Evil 2, where you spawn into the game. The very first room you are in is on the street with zombies that can't die.
Yep, I never forgave that game for that.
Yep. And I don't like games that do that because it says you are going to play this certain way.
And dying has consequences. You know, it's
Yes.
not like an invisible wall or a door that's locked. Dying has consequences.
Yes. And that's the thing is that I'm like, I don't care if you tell me I can't go this direction because then I'll just go this other direction. You know, have the gate locked. Cool. I'm going to go this other way then. But when you're like, oh, hey, there's some shirtless dude at the top of these stairs. And I'm like, I'm wearing fucking armor. And he's like, I'm going to shove this bow staff up your anus. And I'm like, okay. How come you didn't take any damage in the first zone?
Yeah, makes a difference.
So, kind of like with Resident Evil. It's like, why would you put unkillable zombies in the first room of a game about killing zombies?
Yep. Now, speaking about some Lovecraftian, did you see the announcement for the new Arkham Horror box?
I have not.
Yes, there is a new Arkham Horror box coming out with new characters for all the classes. I haven't got a chance to delve into it. It's probably something we're going to talk about in depth on our next episode, but I just wanted to talk about it a little bit now, kind of pique your interest in
Age?
it. Think so?
I think that's the one. Yeah, that's the new big box.
Yeah, it's pretty. Like I was just watching FFG, and they had put out a news report on it earlier this week.
Okay,
definitely worth looking into. And the blue guy has really good stats. He's like a 4-3-4-1. So good with, mind, decent investigation, good strength, doesn't run away. Sounds good.
Fair enough.
And then the other big thing, Fortnite has become the all-time heaviestly played video game of all time. Their Battle Royale series.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's beat out PUBG, beat out League of Legends, everything.
You know why it beat out PUBG, right?
Because it is PUBG, but works on all computers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's optimized so that people can actually fucking play it.
Yeah. I mean, I like PUBG better because I like the realism of the guns. Yeah. But I understand why Fortnite is... And it works on almost all devices. They have an Android app that if you choose, you can play people on PC or play people on Xbox or play people on PlayStation. I mean, it's all cross-platform. The only thing that's not cross-platform is Xbox to PS4.
It's not cross-platform for the two things that it should be.
Right. Because...
That sounds about right.
They just don't do that. But Drake, you know who Drake is, right?
The
musician?
Singer?
Yeah. He jumped onto a Twitch programmer's Twitch feed and was playing Fortnite with him.
I heard about that. That's super cool.
640,000 viewers.
Yup.
It broke every record Twitch had.
Good old Drake.
Yep.
Speaking of gaming news, though, it looks like Battlefront 2 is getting a complete overhaul with their progression system finally. Yeah,
no more loot boxes. They're just gonna
there's still loot boxes.
They're just gonna do micro transactions into the skills or something like that.
Nope. There will be loot boxes, but it will be purely cosmetic.
Okay.
And progression will be linear. So you can only purchase star cards or whatever or upgrades through gaining experience.
Okay, you know what? That works for me.
So you know what? What it should have been at fucking launch.
Yeah, I mean, I would buy that, honestly.
Yeah, I would consider playing it now. Yeah. The only thing is that I still feel like I would feel dirty giving them my money.
I kind of want to buy it now to show them that if they do it right in the first place, they will have higher sales.
That's true. I think that I will end up picking up the game maybe when it's down to about $20 on sale.
I'd be okay with it being about 30. I think it's about 30.
If there's enough content, like the problem is that the single player is trash.
Always.
Oh yeah. Like we haven't had good single player from EA and DICE for a while.
Yeah.
But if it has enough solid content, $30 is not bad.
You know what I'd love? Star Wars Galaxies.
Yeah, Star Wars Galaxies 2. It's
Star
just
Wars
remastered.
Galaxies Jump to Lightspeed. Star Wars Galaxies TCG.
I just want the TCG back. I really do. I miss space combat, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I want the space combat. Traditional good old space sim.
Yep. And I guess Elite Dangerous is pretty solid.
So
I'm waiting for
fucking
it to.
hard.
Is it?
Yeah. It's the
See,
Dark Souls of space.
well, I might be all right with that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I own it. I picked it up for like $12 one time.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm doing, is just waiting for it to go on sale. Because I miss that. I miss the space missions more than anything about Galaxies. I remember putting on some music, jumping into my X-Wing, and just going.
You just play some Freelancer.
I don't own it. It's not on anything.
Tachyon the Fringe is on Steam, and that's not a bad game. It's more linear than Freelancer, but your main character is voiced by Bruce Campbell.
What?
Yeah, main character is voiced by Ash and Briscoe County Jr.
That's hilarious.
Yep, and he even throws in some lines like, "Oh yeah, give me some sugar, baby."
Nice. Is it pretty good?
It's a decent shooter. It is dated. I mean, it is late '90s, so
Okay.
but it holds up decently well. And I think it's only like
I still need to play.
$6.
It's 10 on Steam, but on sale it'll probably be $2.50.
Yeah, something like that.
I need to play Nexus: The Jupiter Incident because I keep getting told that's really, really good, and I've owned it since like it came out, but I still haven't played it.
There's a couple good space sims out there.
I want a space sim that's not. How do I put this? I want there to be a story. I want it to be like a space RPG.
There's one on mobile devices, and I think it's also on Steam. It's called Galaxy on Fire.
Yeah.
I
think I have the second one.
It plays like Freelancer, has a story like Freelancer, but has the feel of like Eve.
Ooh.
It's really good. Right. It's worth checking out.
I have the second one. Maybe I'll mess with that.
It's not a very big game either, so it is a big game, but it doesn't take a lot up. It's not huge.
Yeah, it's only 2 gigs. Maybe that'll get installed. I miss having a game where because I am obsessed with space. I love space, and I feel at home. I don't know, maybe that sounds weird, but like when I am playing a sci-fi game that takes place in space, like Galaxies doing the space combat or Mass Effect and stuff like that, I feel at home. I feel comforted by the vastness of it when I'm just out there exploring.
Okay.
Put on some music, put on a podcast, something like that, and just go do some missions, save some people, blow up some bitches.
That's why I liked Freelancer, because you could find random wrecks out there and get alien technology. But first, I do have to mention this. In the news in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, there might be something that you want to look at, though, because I have heard that we are going to be starting a space force, and it might be something that you want to sign up for, and then you could be part of the space force.
Well, we've got an air force.
Yeah.
So why do we not have that? Because we got ground, sea, and air forces. Why would we not be patrolling space?
Yeah, exactly. So I would sign up for that. I heard, the Supreme Leader. President Trump is going to be starting that up soon.
Supreme Leader Cheeto.
I hate bringing in politics, but I had to. It's just perfect.
Fuck it. I don't care anymore. I don't give a shit. It's not like fucking Trump supporters are listening to us anyway.
God, I hope not.
They think video games causes people to shoot up schools.
Oh. But yeah, so Definitely
Also,
check out some of those
just
games.
a shout out to any Trump supporters that are listening to us. Eat a giant bag of dicks, and I blame all of this on you. Thank you very much.
See, this is what happens when RJ's not here.
I can just hear him sucking his teeth. That
He's like, "What are you doing?"
shit. What are you? Oh, Ah. We miss you, RJ. Come back.
No shit.
We need structure.
I think that's probably gonna do it for us today.
And on a high note. But yeah, so closing thoughts for me is don't play Amnesia. Go play Alien Isolation. Go play Outlast 1. Outlast 1. I would not touch Outlast 2 with a 10-foot pole.
Go play Dying Light.
True. Although that's less survival horror, more kind of Borderlands with zombies.
Still freaky as fuck.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially at nighttime. I still need to pick that one up. It's never on sale for less than $20. It pisses me off.
Or if you just want a good jump scare, get the Friday the 13th game.
I still need to get Dead by Daylight. I hear it is just amazing.
Yeah, it's same thing as the Friday the 13th game.
Yeah, except it's not one IP.
Theme-based. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have people like Freddy Krueger in there, and I think Jigsaw's in there now, and I'm like, okay, that seems pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. Go play good survival horror. If anybody has another good open world RPG-esque space sim game, let me know. Let us know in the comments. Send us a message on Facebook, something. I want a good game. Dark Souls can eat a bag of dicks, but I'll still give it another shot. Anyway, as always, thank you all for listening. You can check out our previous episodes at mediocregamers.com, as well as on iTunes and Google Play. Keep up to date with us on Facebook and Twitter at 2mediocregamers. You can chat with us on Discord. And you can also find our show notes and all that good stuff on our Reddit page. Links, as always, will be down in the description below. Now get out there and play some games.
And just as a PSA, my Twitch did change from Crimson_Addict to Crimson Invec. Just makes it easier for everybody to spell it.
Awesome.